expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Good evening. Welcome into Marc Madness Sports on this Monday evening. I'm Mark Karstens, the host of Marc Madness Sports, joined today by Luci Moreno, Sun Prairie West softball player, and Kara Bekkedal, Sun Prairie West softball player. I guess, Luci, Kara, how are you both this evening? And excited to talk Sun Prairie West softball with the two of you tonight.
I'm good. I'm good as well.
Well, let's get into it here with 2024 Sun Prairie West softball. So I know your team has been off to a kind of a slow start, 3-8 season so far record. 3-4 in Big 8 conference play, 6 out of 9 teams in the Big 8 conference. What do you think your Sun Prairie West softball team needs to do to turn things around and then start getting more wins in the win column? I guess I can start with you, Luci, and then maybe Kara can go from there.
I feel like just definitely our mindset, just keep staying the same, definitely positive. But to say the things that we could change is, start getting our bats heated up earlier and making those crucial plays, I would say.
I agree. I think with the young pitching staff, it's super important, like Luci said, to make the defensive plays and stay with them and get our bats going. And then the mindset too of knowing we can win and truly having that winner's mindset to push through the full game.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, I know your pitching has kind of gone through some struggles and growing pains early this season, just because you have some young pitchers, Brooke Rhodes and Sky Robinson, kind of your two main starting pitchers. Maybe just share, both of them are really young. Obviously, Brooke's a sophomore, Sky's just a freshman. I know kind of with Brooke, she's had 49 walks in 29.1 innings, and then Sky's walked, 34 batters in 26 and 2/3 innings. Probably one thing, Kara, you as a catcher, probably just telling them, just throw strikes, just pound the strike zone a little bit more. And I think that's maybe one area where they could still grow yet this year and learn from.
For sure, yeah. They've been working with the pitching coach as well. They've been working hard at practice and stuff. And I think they're definitely improving, but it's just that confidence too. And so it's hard for them. And I think the whole team kind of stands and says good job, guys. Keep it up. You're trying your best.
Keep working, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. Maybe some biggest competition, toughest softball teams to face in the Big 8 conference. I know right now the top two teams in the conference are Verona and Sun Prairie East. Obviously, those are probably the two tough ones to kind of face each and every time you go up against them.
We played Verona, and like Coach Presto said, we were neck and neck with them until one of the players hit a grand slam. But if she wouldn't have hit that, it would probably have been a 5-5 ball game. And then Sun Prairie East, they're just a very good team. And all you can do in that situation, I guess, is tip your hat and then make the plays we need to make and get the hits that we need to get.
For sure. I agree with that. The Verona game, that you said, we were neck and neck, and then the Sun Prairie East, it's always interesting playing your former teammates and your friends. And so, they're great players, and like Luci said, you just have to tip your hat to them and be they're a great team, they work really hard, and it shows.
Yeah, and then another team too in conference that's doing pretty well so far, Janesville-Craig. They're 8-3 on the season, 4-1 in conference play. Another team, in conference that you guys are obviously going to compete against. And
when we played them, it was a really close game. I feel we could have even got that game, but I think we fell short because of a couple of errors and hits. But like I said, if we clean that up, we're right there. We're right at the top, just like them.
I agree 100%.
And I guess I'll ask both of you, what is it being coached by Coach Ellen Presto, and what have maybe you learned about softball, or what has maybe Coach Presto taught you guys about softball that maybe you've gotten to learn through her coaching?
Definitely to keep going, never put your head down and always pick each other up. And me and her, we both stress the game we play is a game of failure, so all you can do is pick yourself up and pick your teammates up, and most importantly, have fun doing it.
Yeah, she talks a lot about fighting adversity, and in Wisconsin we have weather that's adversity. As a younger team with younger pitchers, that's adversity. And I think that's something that's really important to train your mind to understand this is going to be hard, but we have to push through it. And the only way that you're going to get better is going through that adversity and struggling through it, and eventually you'll prevail.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I know I called the baseball game on Saturday. Boy, it was cold. The Sun Prairie East, Sun Prairie West game. And yeah, those boys had to battle through weather and cold conditions. And, you know, it was a low-scoring game. It was a 3-1 game. Sun Prairie East won that one. So kind of just an example of, like you said, you just sometimes have to fight through adversity.
Living in Wisconsin.
Living in Wisconsin. So I guess Luci and Kara, what was it like playing preseason softball down in Florida? I know you guys played down in Florida, some preseason games down there. What was that experience like? And maybe getting to, I think you guys got to go to Disney World, and
Yeah.
Maybe what was that whole experience like down in Florida?
It was definitely a really cool experience. Got to get closer to my teammates, and a great team bonding thing. The games really made us like learn and kind of figure out how to play with each other, because I'm like obviously new to this program, and like learning how to play with like certain players and such, and even just like getting back into softball kind of like snapped me into it. And I'm really glad we got to go down to Florida, because I love playing in warm weather.
Yeah, I agree about the warmer weather part, and I also thought Florida was a great way for our team to kind of mix and match, like with a lot of positions. We had people playing everywhere and like learning new things, and then also it was really great team bonding, because you don't get that like here if you just go to practice and then go home. You're with those girls that whole time, so you really get to establish connections, and I think it shows on the field. Like our first game in Florida, we weren't really connected, but now like we're more connected than we have, and we've really grown from that game.
Well, it's interesting. When I had Grace Kramschuster and McKenna Gross in here, not this past Friday, but Friday before, they pretty much said the same thing. It was a great bonding experience, them going down to Florida, and
Yeah.
they learned a lot about kind of getting closer with their teammates because of that whole experience. So I guess Luci and Kara, how did your softball team do while you were down in Florida? Like how did you guys do in those preseason games? I know they didn't count towards your record, but
I don't know. I kind of forgot like how we did, like if we won or lost. I don't think we kept score or anything. We might have, but I think we did pretty well. Like we meshed together pretty well. Like Kara said, like in the beginning it was kind of rocky, but kind of at the end, like kind of figured each other out, and we had fun playing. So I had fun, so it was fun.
Yeah, I agree. I think the games like definitely got better as we went on, and like the practices too like got better. I think like we really showed a lot of growth from our first game there, and like I think it went well in that aspect, that we got to learn new things and how to play with other teammates, like Luci was saying.
No, that's awesome. Luci, I know you're leading your team in batting average. You have a .710 batting average. Did you know that? You had that
No.
that high of a batting average? That's just pretty crazy. But what are your thoughts, reactions when you hear that back? That's pretty remarkable. Especially in a game of failure like softball and baseball.
Yeah, definitely. I guess keep going, because everyone always has room for improvement. But I guess a pat on my back. Like I didn't know that, but yeah.
Luci, another thing, I don't know if you know this, you're one of 4 players in your team that's played in all 11 games this season. Maybe what does that say maybe about your training preparation, ways that you keep yourself healthy and able to play in each and every game?
Yes, recovery. I think recovery is the thing that keeps me in this game. And on the training side, I just train to play. I train because I love softball. I basically dedicated my life to softball. And yeah, I just train because I love to play.
No, thanks for sharing. Which game would you say was your team's best game this season? Kara and maybe Luci, I can let you both share. I would say probably that win over Madison West where you scored 22 runs. I mean, it's probably one that stands out. Maybe the East United game that you guys played at Madison College where you scored 21 runs. Probably those are the 2 that stand out to me. But
Yeah, I definitely think like scoring a lot of runs, like it's fun, and like we're all like hype and excited about that. So I think that's like really good games for us, at least that I enjoyed playing in.
Yeah, I agree. But also the close games, like Middleton game, we were up 2-1. It was very fun. Like we wanted to get those outs. Just unfortunately, we fell behind in the last inning. But just like games like that, obviously scoring a bunch of runs is like cool and all that. But it was really cold that night. But no, yeah, that Middleton game and like the Verona game, and also the East game, because I like to see my old teammates and stuff. So.
no, that's a good answer because yeah, you probably enjoy getting to maybe banter and have some fun with your old teammates. So.
Get off a D1 pitcher, Taylor Baker.
Yeah, and you're right, hitting off a D1 pitcher and Taylor Baker, who's going to South Dakota State next season,
Yes.
or next year. So, Luci, maybe I'll read more stats that you've had in 11 games this season. So you have 42 plate appearances, 31 at-bats, a .786 on-base percentage, 22 hits, 12 singles, 4 doubles, a triple, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, 11 walks, 17 runs scored, and 8 stolen bases. Your 8 stolen bases, second on the team. Audrey Davis is leading the team with 12. How did all those stats sound hearing those back?
I guess I could.
I think it means Luci deserves a pat on the back. Pat on the back. Round of applause.
Definitely, I want to steal more bases. Like, I need to get my legs moving more. But yeah, just keep going. You know, I play for my team and also just to have fun. So I'm glad to hear those.
And congratulations on the home runs, five. That's impressive early on in the season because you've only played 11 games, so 5 home runs in 11 games. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Maybe what do you credit to the power you've had at the plate this season with the 5 home runs? Do you think it's coaching, training, maybe teaching you've gotten with softball? And I think, Luci, maybe what the biggest thing that probably helped you a lot was playing JV baseball last year. That probably really helped with getting more power at the plate in softball.
On the power side, yeah, I was just like in my practices. Me and my brother, and my dad stresses just like always be like the strongest hitter and like just always make solid contact with the ball. Yeah, we definitely always like we train to how we want to play and then we try to execute it in games. So we do a lot of strength training, and I guess that's what you see like on my plate appearances. So.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing. Luci, maybe what would you say was your best offensive game this season? Would you say it was probably that Madison West game where you went 4 for 4 at the plate, 5 RBIs in that one? That'd be a pretty good stat line there.
Yeah, I remember the Madison West game. That was probably the game I cranked a really far home run. I remember that game, but yeah, I guess the Madison West game.
And then Luci, I think every game you've played in, you've started the game at shortstop. What do you like about playing the shortstop position in softball? And then I'll maybe ask you a few other things next about following up that.
I like that I can show my range and also just like the fast pace of the position because I also play third. That's even faster. But I also like just like taking my time and like I guess in a way showing my passion for the game and how much I train and how much I love the game through that position.
And then Luci, following that up, about the shortstop, is there a specific softball shortstop or MLB shortstop you look up to, admire, try to model your game after?
Definitely Sis Bates. She played for Washington. She now plays professional. And on the MLB side, lots of them. Javier Baez, my first one, I wouldn't say crush, but like my favorite MLB player was Orlando Arcia. And I guess now, because I like the Brewers, Willie Adames as well.
I like that answer, Willie Adames. I like Willie Adames a lot as well. He's a great shortstop, great player for the Brewers. I want to talk about a couple of your teammates, Luci and Kara, Audrey Davis and Reagan Hunley, who I had in the TV studio back in late March here. Audrey is second on the team in batting average with .511 average, I believe, or .514 batting average for Audrey this season. And then Reagan has a .379 batting average, 1 home run. So she has 1 of the 8 home runs on your team. Audrey leads your team in stolen bases with 12, so she's really been a great base stealer for you guys. And Audrey's second on the team in hits with 18. Maybe each of you can share kind of what makes Audrey and Reagan great teammates on your team, and then just what makes them successful key parts of your Sun Prairie West softball team.
Yeah, I think Audrey is like a all-around like solid player, and she works hard, and like she's just a tremendous athlete, and like I have to like give her props to that. She's like very sound athletically, and she's also like one of the nicest people you meet. She's so like kind and caring and like a great teammate. She'll always support you. She'll listen to your little stories and like she'll add in. So I love that about Audrey. And then Reagan, again, also a very great player. She's like awesome out in center field and good at the plate, and she's just like a positive person on the team. She'll always be like, hey, are you okay? Like making sure you're good, and she's just a good friend on top of being a teammate too.
I agree with everything she says. The thing that makes me enjoy and love playing with them the most is that they always put everyone before themselves. And not only that, but they're obviously great, amazing athletes and great softball players. So that's why I love and enjoy playing with them.
I'm wearing the sunglasses on top of the head in honor of Audrey Davis, because she always does it every single game. She always wears the sunglasses on the top of her head. Her mom is always saying, why isn't she wearing them actually on her over her eyes? But anyway, that's always a fun little thing there. But I think that 12 stolen bases for Audrey's really been impressive, and that's got to be near the top. I mean, I didn't really look, but it's got to be near the top or at the top of the Big 8 conference in stolen bases of players in the conference. I would have to believe. I don't know, but
probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an impressive stat nonetheless. What do you think with Luci and Kara? What do you think with Audrey specifically? Because she had to switch positions. She played shortstop last year, and now she's having to play third base. She's having to play second base. She's having to pitch. So she's playing a lot of new positions. Maybe what does that say about Audrey, that she's able to play all these different positions and learn new positions and have to kind of go with the flow?
It's kind of funny that you asked that, because at practice today we were doing warm-ups and I was actually talking to her about it. And she's like, on my Twitter I had to change my profile to utility player, because she truly is a utility player and she has the ability to play any position that coach puts her at. I think it's just a testament to her athleticism and how she truly is going to do what's best for her team. If we need her to pitch, she'll step in and pitch. Like, she wasn't really a pitcher before, and I think in January she decided, we don't have a pitcher, I'm going to step up and fulfill that role for the team. She's like, I know I won't get to play my favorite position, but she was willing to sacrifice that for the team, and I think that shows like the kind of person that she is.
Yeah, definitely. Like Kara said it all. She's an athlete. Coach puts her at third. I'll play third. Puts her at second. I'll play second. She's a great pitcher too. So she's a great athlete, great softball player.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then I'll touch on Reagan a little bit more. So obviously, she's your team center fielder. What characteristics do you think makes Reagan good as a center fielder? And where do you believe Reagan, maybe, Clara, you probably would attest to this more, has grown the most from last season for softball to this softball season?
I think as far as growth, I think it's just something that comes with like aging, is like that confidence and like going all out for balls and trusting her outfield. They've had like a full season together of last year. I know her and Ava have, of like trusting each other and knowing that if Reagan dives for the ball, which she constantly does, and she like makes those great plays, that Ava's going to be there to back her up and vice versa. And I think that like playing with that more confidence really makes her an outstanding asset to the team.
No, thank you for sharing. Carol, I'll read some stats that you've had this season. 6 games, you have 24 plate appearances, 19 at-bats, a .263 batting average, a .333 on-base percentage, 5 hits, 4 singles, 1 triple, 5 walks, 3 runs. Those are kind of some of the big stats that stand out. How does that sound, hearing some of those stats read back?
It sounds like there's like always room for improvement, and I'm glad that it's like earlier in the season so we can like still work on it. And like I feel like I have a lot of room to grow as a hitter. So that's kind of what I think about it.
Pat on the back.
Pat on the back. And Kara, at what age did you start playing the catcher position in softball, and have you ever played other positions outside of catcher in softball?
Yeah, so I started catching in like minors, little leagues, when everyone played every position, but catching was always my favorite. And then in like 10 and 12U, I played third base, and then 14, 16U, I got into outfield more, but I've always caught as well as played those positions.
No, awesome. And then kind of, Kara, what drew you to playing catcher in softball? What maybe interested you so much in that position?
So my older brother Lucas used to play baseball, and he was a catcher, and I was kind of the younger sister, like, oh, my brother's doing that, I want to do it. And so he taught me a lot, and just like having that role model to look up to really made me inspired to be a catcher.
No, awesome. And Kara, is there a specific catcher in either softball or baseball you try to model your game after, maybe look up to in any way?
Not entirely, but I like Manny Pena on the Brewers. I think he has like a good flair and like shows that like you can be yourself as an athlete and still perform really well.
No, he's a good catcher. I like that answer. Mm-hmm. What things do you work on, Kara? Maybe how do you feel you've become a successful defensive catcher behind the plate, just like blocking pitches and helping pitchers navigate their way through games?
For sure. I know last year with Isabel Royal, like I worked a lot on blocking pitches and keeping everything in front, and I'm obviously still working on that now. and then like getting like pass balls, like plays at the plate. I think that's always something to work on, and like you can always grow and like be better, I think.
Amazing throwdowns too.
And then throws to the bases, first, second, third, when base runners are on. Maybe Kara, on the defensive side, how do you have to call a game for like whoever is pitching to maybe have the best success and then on a particular game day?
Yeah, I think it's just for me, I know I can only control myself. I can't control the pitchers, but I think I can control being positive and talking them through it and letting them know that even if, they don't believe in themselves, I believe in them and I think that they can do it and push through. And just I think being confident and like talking it up is really important to me. And I know I've talked to my coach about like just gaining more confidence in the catcher position and like being that leader, not only for my pitchers, but for the field too. I know Luci and I, like every play we're talking to each other, even though she's at short and I'm catching, like it's nice to have that communication.
Make that eye contact, pitcher to shortstop.
Yeah, no, thank you. Maybe, Kara, is there a specific game you thought was maybe best defensively for you, maybe where you felt like you really blocked pitches well, navigated the pitcher or pitchers through the game well?
Defensively, I'd have to say we had a game on Saturday, this past Saturday. It was our first game. I can't remember which team we played. Do you remember? It might have been Chip. Bekkedal Moraine. It was nice because there was a short backstop, but I had 2 putouts at home of like, it was a wild pitch and then I got it and like tagged the girl out at home. I think that was really good because that was at hustle and then like blocking pitches and calling pitches. I thought I did good that game.
I think I read online you guys lost that game 7-4 was the final for that one?
Yeah, it was very close.
So yeah, close game that you guys had with Bekkedal Moraine in that particular contest. Maybe I'll move on here to opposing players that you've gone up against this season, maybe that you have the greatest respect, been most impressed by it. I know a couple players in conference that are really good, obviously Taylor Baker for Sun Prairie East and Grace Cramschuster, who have Division I college softball scholarship commitments. And then, like I said, I've been reading a lot about Sierra Arajito for Verona. She obviously must be a really talented outfielder. I saw she plays center field for Verona. I haven't actually watched her play, but maybe anything about those 3 particular players in conference, because they're all pretty talented.
Taylor Baker is an amazing pitcher. She's going to do so good at South Dakota State. Grace Cramschuster as well. She has amazing stick and great fielding abilities. And then the center fielder for Verona, she's very shifty. I remember her. And she's very fast. Like when she gets on, she's probably scoring.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Verona center fielder is super fast, super talented player. I second everything with Taylor and Grace. I think they're amazing athletes, and like I just know they're going to do so good next year in their college seasons.
Is there maybe anyone else that I didn't really highlight, that you have a lot of respect and appreciation for in conference, or that you guys have faced this season where you're like, boy, that player was really good?
Another Sun Prairie East player, McKenna Gross. She's very good. She's also a senior. She's a pitcher and a kind of utility player. She's very talented.
Yeah, I would say, so this is kind of biased because I play club with her, but Eiley Vaxguy, the catcher for Madison East United, she has like the most positive attitude like ever, and she's the sweetest girl, and I think that she's always cheering on her teammates, and she always has really like clutch hits, and so I like want to catch like her and be a positive influence to my team like she is.
No, those are great answers, and I had McKenna in your about almost a week and a half ago. So yeah, no, I can second that about McKenna. She's a name that definitely deserves to be recognized on the list of really good softball players in conference.
Yeah.
Is there a specific pitcher that you go up against that's maybe hard to face in the Big 8 conference or hardest to face? I mean, I would think Taylor Baker would obviously be one. Another one that I'm really been impressed by every time I've seen her is Megan Button for Middleton. I've been impressed a couple times that I've gotten to see her pitch in either games I've called or games I've watched as a spectator.
Yeah, Taylor Baker, obviously, because she's a lot of good pitches and she could spot them. And Megan Button as well, she is velo too, and she has many different difficult pitches to read. But yeah, both are great pitchers.
I agree, yeah, with Luci. I think they're both super talented and like they're good at what they do.
Yeah, I just think Megan Button's a little underrated. I mean, she maybe doesn't get the recognition or talked about as much as Taylor Baker, but she's a talented pitcher. Both times I've seen her, like I say, one game I called, one game I was a spectator. I was impressed with her pitching.
For sure.
Maybe favorite opposing softball field to play at? Lucy and Kara, maybe ask that one.
Let me think. Maybe I would say some Prairie East. I haven't played there yet, but I think like the environment of like how it's gonna be, the atmosphere is gonna be like sick to play like our opposing, like some Prairie East. So.
Yeah, I think East is always it's definitely like interesting and unique. I also like Verona's field. I think like it's interesting how their dirt's like that red, like orange clay, and it's nice when you catch because it's not as like powdery, so you have more of a stable ground underneath you instead of being in like a pit at some fields. So I like that.
I've seen this field from afar. I have not been at it, but Madison College, I've really wanted to see that field up close because that field looks beautiful just from like the little bit of distance I've seen it.
Yeah.
That's one that would, for me, be like one I'd love to play at that field.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they have cool dugouts too.
Yeah, they have heaters.
And heaters, that's a boss, right? Lucy and Kara, favorite softball player to watch and follow for each of you?
I like Kaylee Mudge. She played for FSU, and now she plays professional. I think she, like my mom and I, love her because she's always moving, she's always talking. She's just a great player overall.
I would say Sis Bates, again, going back there, she's just an amazing player. Lauren Chamberlain, Sam Fisher. I like players who, like Sis Bates, because she just has amazing range. She's just a great player. But I like players who like stress like the mental game of softball, and like it's okay to make an error. You're going to fail, but as long as you just pick yourself back up and just jump right back into it.
A name that I get a lot is Jenny Finch. When I ask that question, a lot of people say Jenny Finch is their favorite. I get that a lot. Next week, you got a busy week of games. 4 games next week for you guys. Wednesday's the first one. You take on Madison Memorial, who's had a down year. They're 1-5, but don't ever take them for granted because they're a talented team. I mean, last year they made it quite far. I mean, they got to the state sectional final against Sunbury East. Obviously, they came up short there, but a very talented team that's usually very good. So you get them on Wednesday. And then you get a team that I don't know much about. It's West Bend West, but it looks like they're a pretty talented team from what I was reading. 7-4 record on the season. I think you take face them on Friday. Yep, Friday you take them on. And then Saturday you get a quad tourney at Sunbury West. I'll be there for the call for at least the first game for that. And you'll face a talented Marshall team that's 5-2 on the season. So those are kind of the games you guys have coming up this week. Maybe thoughts or other things you want to add maybe to what you look forward to with these 4 games that you have this week?
I have a teammate on West Bend West. It's actually Taylor Baker's future teammate. She's a South Dakota State commit. Mia Busk, I think. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but she's very good, very talented. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the quad. I like playing at her home field, so.
Yeah, I agree. The home field's nice, and I think it's just going to be something like we just have to play our game and like play as the Wolves and know that we can win and we can do hard things. Like even if these teams are good, we can still control our actions and play up to their level.
Hopefully it's nice too.
Do you think probably the toughest game you guys have this week is probably West Bend West? I mean, it seems like they're the most talented on paper.
Yeah, we haven't played Memorial, and like you said, like don't underestimate them. So yeah, just looking forward to playing all the teams, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I think Memorial's pitcher that I know we struggled with last year, I think she graduated, so I'll be interested to see who pitches for them. And then West Bend, obviously, I mean, sounds like they're a great team, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, you guys got a busy week ahead of games. Yeah. Kara, since you got to experience Sun Prairie West softball last year in 2023, what was it like reaching that WIA state sectional game against Madison Memorial, where you came up short 4-1 in that contest, and then went 17-9 on the season? I know, Lucy, you didn't get to experience it because you were playing JV baseball last season. But what was that like just in the first year of the Wolves program?
I think it was really inspiring. I think it was something that not all of us expected, because when you have a brand new program, you really don't know what's happening. And I think that it really showed that like Sun Prairie produces a lot of great softball players, and even if we're split in half, like we can still accomplish things. And I think it was something that really solidified a foundation for this Wolves program and shows that we're not just going to back down, like we're going to keep fighting no matter what.
No, great answer. Kara, what was it like playing with the Royal sisters? Because you got to play with them. And Lucy, I know you've gotten to play with them over time as well, with Sophia and Isabel. Maybe what do you miss about their leadership? Because they definitely played a leadership role. You guys lost a lot of leadership last year from the seniors. I mean, Emily Petrie, Ella Ordens. I don't know. There might be another name I'm missing here, but
Ashley.
Ron.
Oh, Ashley Ron. Yep. Maybe just those 5 players in general. What maybe have you missed from their leadership, or what was it like playing with those girls?
I think it was a very unique experience to play with them. They're all very talented athletes, and they had like a very close bond too, I think, and that showed like strong leadership, like you said, and especially being that senior class. They really gave us and younger players people to look up to and to trust, and like, you know, if Isabel tells you, oh, maybe you should try this with your swing, you're like, I'll try that with my swing, because you trust her and you know that she's going to help you out.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. Lucy and Kara, what record do you think your Sun Prairie West Wolves softball team will have at season's end? You guys are 3-8 right now. What's the hope and expectation the rest of the way?
How many games do we have left?
I think you have 13 left, I read. You have 13 games left.
A good 10. I'm trying to do math in my head. Like, I say we win 95% of the games. Left of our season.
I agree. I think like we can work towards that. That's definitely something that
Very reasonable goal.
Yeah.
Do you think if you guys went 9-4 the rest of the way, which would put you at 11 and 12, would you be pretty happy with that? I think that would put you at 11 and 12, wouldn't it? Or would it? I'm trying to do the math now myself here. What that would put you guys at? Or it would put you at 12 and 12 actually. It'd put you at 500, because that's right, 24 games. So if you guys ended 12 and 12, how would you feel about that?
I'd feel good as long as we all have fun doing it. It's what we're here to do, have fun. Yeah,
I agree.
And I want to talk about your team's last game of the season, because that's a big one, at Sun Prairie East Cardinals. And what's even bigger about it is it's the Hits for Autism game. Kara and Lucy, share with the listeners maybe the reason behind that game, Hits for Autism, maybe the purpose of that event and cause, and just what does it mean to each of you, maybe the significance of that Hits for Autism game?
Definitely the ability to raise money for something is that we get the opportunity to do is amazing, and sharing the opportunity with Sun Prairie East that we divide into schools is amazing, awesome.
Yeah, I think it's that sense of community that, like, even though we're different schools, we're still one community, and we can still come together to raise money for a cause that's bigger than any of us and help out people in our community.
I guess what makes it special, maybe, that Hits for Autism game? Like all components, maybe.
Yeah, so we have like a silent auction going on where people have donated like baskets of items that people can bid on and have that as a donation. And we have like t-shirts that we wear to just kind of raise awareness and stuff. And I know last year we had some kids, like special education kids, come out and they got to, someone did the first pitch, and then we had, like, for the national anthem, they stood with us on the field. So that was a really fun experience that I enjoyed.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, no, thank you for sharing. Maybe anything else with that last game of the season? Maybe what do you look forward to at that matchup of Sun Prairie East again? You know, getting a second chance to beat them.
I think win or lose, it'll definitely hype us up for the playoffs and just get our mindset ready for whoever team we're going to face.
I think it's definitely like an emotional game because there's a lot more that goes into it than like people think, because it's like you're playing your teammates, your old coaches, and a lot of people in the community are there that like have helped you in your softball career. And I think it's just for me, it'll be a good way to like end my senior regular season of just that like unified Sun Prairie community. Like Luci said, no matter who wins or loses, it's going to get us ready for the postseason.
Well, yeah, no, thanks for sharing. I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move on to state forensics with you, Kara, talking about that and maybe some college plans. And then, Luci, I'll talk to you following about your University of Pittsburgh softball scholarship commitment. But first, Kara, well, congratulations to you on your first place state Wisconsin Forensics Award.
Thank you.
You received it, I read, in the category of oral interpretation.
Yes.
Well, again, congratulations. Amazing accomplishment. Something I think you and your family should be proud of. Maybe share more about that experience, winning first place at the Wisconsin State Forensics and then getting that in the category of oral interpretation.
For sure. So oral interpretation is kind of a unique category. You have two pieces. So you have one prose piece, like a short story written by someone else that you interpret in your own like ways, and then poetry. So I had a collection of, I think, 4 poems that I interspliced together and performed. And it was a roller coaster of a day. It was really special to me. Our team ended up winning first place too, which for the first time in Sun Prairie West history, we won state. I know forensics has been a journey for me since 8th grade and something I've like worked at, and I'm really like appreciative that it got to end this way for me. And it was just a really special day overall.
That sounds like a fun event. They're pretty special. So. And then, Kara, I read that your Sun Prairie West team as a whole finished #1 in Division I and then #2 overall in all divisions, points-wise for the event. Because the Appleton East, I believe, got the most points of any team in the event. It was like 275 they had, and you guys had like 270 or 267 or something like that, I read. What does that say about Wisconsin State Forensics and kind of how that's treated at Sun Prairie West High School? Because it seems like there must be a lot of pride, joy, work that goes into that for Sun Prairie West School Forensics.
Definitely. I mean, not a lot of people know about it, but the people that are involved in forensics, it's a very close-knit community. It's really like a family. Everyone supports each other. Everyone's there for each other. And it's really just a testament to our coaches, too. They're amazing. Annalisa Dahlgren and Jason Sammons. They're very talented at what they do, and they really believe in each and every one of their students, and it goes to show that like when you believe in high school kids to go up and talk in front of people, that they can do it and they can fill those big shoes. And I think there's definitely a lot of like pride, and we're all very like excited to be representing like our school and just like in that tight-knit community.
No, that's awesome, Kara. Anything else about State Forensics you want to share with the listeners?
Well, our coach, Annalisa Dahlgren, got a very special award. She got an award that's the coaches vote on which coach to give it to every year, so like a Coach of the Year award, and she received that as well. She's totally deserving. Like I said, she makes every kid feel included, and forensics is one of those things where there's a category for everyone. There's radio speaking, where you put together a broadcast. There's interpretation categories like mine. There's acting. You can write a speech. You can even write like an apology video. Like there's so many categories and things, so there's truly something for everyone at Sun Prairie Forensics.
Well, for me, probably radio play'd be a good one for me, or maybe acting. I think those would be my 2 best categories, to be honest with you, if I did forensics. I think that's where you'd want to put me. Kara, any college plans you have, or are you going to continue playing softball once you choose a college, or have you chosen a college, and do you plan to continue your softball journey with wherever you go?
Yeah, so I am not planning on continuing to play softball. I might play intramural or coach Little League this summer, but I'm committed to the University of Minnesota Twin Cities in their environmental engineering program, so I'm very excited about that.
Well, congratulations to you on that, Kara, for going to University of Minnesota Twin Cities and then studying environmental engineering, so congrats to you on that.
Thank you.
Okay, Luci, I'll get to you now. Well, congratulations on your University of Pittsburgh softball scholarship commitment.
Thank you.
Division I softball scholarship commitment, impressive accomplishment, and then it's something I think you and your family should be proud of, so congratulations to you on that. What made you choose, Luci, University of Pittsburgh over other softball colleges and programs, and then maybe what excites you most about the University of Pittsburgh softball program?
Definitely when I went there, the atmosphere it provided and the coaches, like, obviously the coaches like won me over. Downtown is beautiful, and what I'm looking forward to, definitely the facilities. The facilities there are very nice, and like I said, the downtown and the students' dorm. I know that's, or the student athlete dorm. I know that's kind of a weird answer, but they're very nice, and I'm looking forward to stay there.
Well, that sounds awesome. Luci, have you gotten to meet any of the players, coaching staff over at University of Pittsburgh softball yet? And what is that experience like if you have done that so far?
Yeah, so I've met a handful of the players, and it was really cool, like them taking me on my journey of my visit and just kind of showing me around and having that one-on-one time, being able to connect with my future coaches and just telling them, you know, what's up, how's my high school season going, and things of that nature. And everything was very cool when I went there.
Luci, I did a little further research about Pittsburgh softball, and it sounds like they have a first-year head coach this year, Jenny Allard, who has a really impressive softball resume. I was reading about her resume. She coached softball at Harvard for 28 seasons. I don't know if you knew that. Got 9 Ivy League titles in her time at Harvard softball and 6 30-win seasons. That was what really stood out to me. How much did the resume of Coach Allard factored into your decision to take your softball journey to University of Pittsburgh?
Definitely, like you said, she came from Harvard, and so not only she's going to have high expectations on the field, but very high expectations off the field, so like meaning academic-wise. And when I went there's a life coach, and she connected very well with him. His name is Dallas. And so not only like she's invested in us getting better on the softball field, but like choosing a career path is just as important, and just keeping her grades up and staying healthy, staying in check.
I thought Harvard was more known for their academics. I didn't know their softball program had so much success, but they must be pretty successful in the athletics side as well.
Yeah.
But Luci, anything else you'd like to share about University of Pittsburgh, maybe your softball scholarship, maybe the playing field, Verabedian Field, is that how you pronounce it? Verabedian Field,
yeah.
Verabedian Field. Maybe that, and maybe what are you going to study while you're at University of Pittsburgh too? I can maybe add that in.
When I first got the text from the co-associate head coach, Lacey Scher, I was like, whoa, University of Pittsburgh. So automatically, my dad sends me a picture of the field. I'm like, whoa, because the field is actually behind the women's soccer field, but there's actually a large banner, and it's just it's kind of like a skyline of the city. And also, if you go up some stairs, you can actually see the city itself, which is beautiful. Yeah, just I fell in love with Pittsburgh the second I got there. I've actually never been there before, so my visit was the first time I ever went, and I just loved it. Loved the coaches, loved the players, and like loved the atmosphere it presented. So
sounds beautiful, the field and kind of that atmosphere around Pittsburgh. So we'll get to the fun question segment, and we'll finish this out with this. Favorite athlete in any sport? Maybe Luci, you want to go first, or Kara?
I'm not sure. You said the Jenny Finch. I think she's like super inspiring, because even though she's not like playing softball anymore, she's still like advocating for the community, and she still does a lot of work. And I think that shows that like sports are more than just what you play on the field. It's about creating better like people, not just athletes. So I think that's super inspiring.
Giannis. Giannis, or I don't know, like literally any athlete, I guess, because you know we all go through the same thing, all the mental hardships and all the blood, sweat, and tears we put into our sports. So.
All right, I have to give an answer too, since I'm part of this. I'll say, just to put something a little different, I was thinking about Giannis myself, but I'll say Christian Yelich. I really like Christian Yelich. He does a lot for the community in Milwaukee. I think that's maybe something people don't realize, but he actually does a lot for the community too for Milwaukee. So Christian Yelich, not only is he an amazing baseball player, but he's also an amazing person and does really well for the community. So for me, Christian Yelich. Yeah. Favorite go-to pregame softball food and drink? Luci, I'll let you go first.
I guess honestly any snacks I have in my house at the time. Definitely, like, I like to make sure I'm hydrated, so in the summer, Pedialyte, love Pedialytes, and or Gatorade.
I'm just a straight water girl, And as far as food, pretty much anything that's in my house. If it's a morning game, I always have peanut butter and jelly toast. If it's our games after school, I always have fruit snacks with me. Just that little sugar kick is nice, but yeah.
I like fruit snacks. I'm almost down to have that. Favorite TV show to binge watch? Maybe Kara, I'll let you go first. I actually watched an interview you did, so I know what your answer is going to be.
It's The Office. Yeah, I love that show.
A series I don't think you guys know of. You might. It's called The Queen's Gambit. It's on Netflix. It's like a chess series. I don't know. I just fell in love with it. I love it.
Good answers. Favorite movie you've watched of all time? I'll let either of you share first.
I don't really know like of all time, but a movie that I really like, a series, is the Ocean series. So there's 8, 11, 12, and 13, I believe. I think those are just really interesting because it always leads you to believe one thing, and then at the end there's always a huge plot twist, which I enjoy.
I'm into Marvel, so maybe the second Spider-Man animated movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and or Spider-Man No Way Home, the live-action one with Tom Holland.
For me, favorite movie, it's a tough one. I mean, there's a lot of them that I really like. I really like Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. That's a really good movie.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, that one's good. And then I Remember the Titans if I like a sports movie. That's a really good one. Favorite hobby, interest outside of sports? Maybe for each of you.
Reading. I love to read.
I don't like forensics, the public speaking, and like hang out with friends. I enjoy.
Yeah.
For me, maybe hiking. I don't know that as if they call that. I don't know outside of sports, but yeah, I like that. Last question: since I do a podcast, favorite song and or favorite genre of music?
Can I do a favorite artist?
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorites, but one of my favorites right now is Tate McRae, because I like listened to her back in like 2020 when she just came out on Spotify, and then like I've watched her kind of grow as an artist, so I really like her.
Probably my favorite song right now is Upside Down from Curious George. It's just a really relaxing song, and I really like it.
Those are good answers. I listen to a lot of older music, so I listen to like music like Fleetwood Mac and John Mellencamp and the Eagles and stuff like that. So that's kind of the type of music I listen to a lot. Well, I think that covers everything today on Marc Madness Sports with Sun Prairie West softball players Luci Moreno and Kara Bekkedal. Luci and Kara, thanks for joining me today on Marc Madness Sports.
Thank you for
talking
having
softball
us.
with me. Luci, thank you for sharing about your University of Pittsburgh softball commitment. And then Kara, your first place forensics award in the category of oral interpretation. Thanks for sharing about that. Everyone watch footage of Luci and Kara's favorite athlete in any sport. Watch some footage of their favorite athletes. That concludes things today on Marc Madness Sports. I'm Mark Karstens, the host of Marc Madness Sports, again joined by Sun Prairie West softball players Luci Moreno and Kara Bekkedal. Have a great rest of your Monday night, everybody. Take care. Good night.